time for questions at the end. But if you have any questions throughout, please just let me know. My name is Miss Bostrom, 5th grade teacher. You probably already know that. So a little bit about my history, thank you. And this is the part in the past I always skipped until I dropped my daughter off at school for the first time. I was like, who on earth am I leaving my kid with? And so I'm just trying to give you guys a little bit more information than kind of in the past. So my history, how I became a teacher, I have 2 younger siblings. We grew up playing teacher, and they were the students, and I had a lot of fun. And then I started teaching swim lessons when I was about 14 and did that for almost 10 years. Then I got my degree in child and family development, my master's in digital teaching and learning. That's kind of a huge passion of mine. So that's where sort of my educational history. Here's a short video of our summer. So hopefully you can get to know me a little bit. And I will try and narrate. Hopefully it's not too loud. So that is my daughter, my dad, my mom. Very close to both our family and my husband's family. We love traveling. He's also a teacher, so we travel the entire summer just about. I think we were home maybe 2.5 weeks the entire summer. Love being outside. Family loves the pool. Kind of working getting her to learn how to swim. We love gardening, so we have a little mini grapevines in our yard. Her favorite food is sushi. She could go every single day if you let her. If you ask her what she wants for dinner, she'll say avocado roll. This is my sister. I have a sister and a brother. My sister lives in Texas. My brother lives in the Bay Area with my parents. He actually does also live with them, but we have a cabin in Tahoe, so love visiting Tahoe. Grew up there. My grandpa built it. She loves Underwood Farm. She go there at least a couple times a week. So yeah, just a little bit so you can get to know me. So hopefully when you drop off your kids with me, you're a little bit more comfortable. They always say, when you have kids, you change as a teacher, and that's one of the big things. So this is Kenley. She's almost 2. That's my husband on the right. He's, again, a teacher. My husband's a teacher in the district. My mother-in-law and father-in-law are all teachers in the district. So if anybody's at Stell or Wright, they work there as well. My family lives in the Bay Area. My sister's in Texas. These are our 2 cats, Napili and Zuma. Napili's about 20 pounds, and Zuma is just a ball of energy. This is my email, and I mention this because my email does not follow the normal pattern. The normal pattern is my mother-in-law. So if you email the normal D. Bostrom, it goes to her. She gets about an email a day. Says, is this yours? I'm like, oh, I guess. Okay. So it is my full name. And that's also on the White Oak website. So 5th grade 101. We added this slide in because as teachers, we thought the parents had a lot of questions on things that kind of came up throughout the year. So what's kind of normal for a 5th grader? What to expect in 5th grade? So they really want to be independent, and they're learning how. They're learning. This is where we want them to learn to be independent so that they are independent when they go to middle school. We're kind of getting them to be prepared for that. Screen time, it's okay to say no. We recommend no more than 30 minutes a day. That's kind of our recommendation. There's a little handout on that. If you're interested, the students were not very happy I was sharing that with you today. They go, do you have to add that part? I said, yes. Another big thing, social groups change. They're identifying themselves as a whole. Friendships change, groups change. Just kind of be aware of that, expect it, it's normal, it happens. Make sure they're getting enough sleep. They're learning that they have consequences for their behavior. It's kind of, they're taking ownership of their actions. Lying, it happens, it's very common, don't be shocked. Study skills, you'd be surprised. Study skills, they're learning how to study. That skill of studying really didn't exist until now. They don't really understand it. So they're here to learn that skill this year. It takes practice. I guarantee you most of your kids will come into the first math test saying, I'm ready. So did you study? Uh-huh. Okay, let's go. All right. Give it a shot. And they may not do so great, and that's okay, and they'll learn. Because by the end of the year, they'll understand what studying means and what that looks like for them. So again, they're ready to go to middle school. Self-advocating is huge. I think it's on like 5 of my slides. They need to learn how to self-advocate. Okay, I can't stress that enough. So the transition to 5th grade, they're no longer learning to read, they're reading to learn. So they're reading for information. The skill of actually reading, they mostly have down. It's just that they're reading for knowledge and enjoyment as well. We really stress that there is, pleasure in reading. It's not just a boring task, or, if kids are like, oh, I don't like reading, it's boring, it's dumb. Well, then they just haven't found the book that they like yet, or books that they like yet. So we'll help, explore different books. It is a much faster pace, especially than 4th grade. We're preparing them for middle school, and again, that independence piece is huge, huge. So student responsibilities: to be prepared for class. They're responsible for bringing their laptop if they have one to class. They're responsible for bringing their reminder binder to and from class. Please don't pack their backpack for them, because you'll be stuck packing your backpack until they're in high school. Now is when they learn, natural consequence, I didn't bring my reminder binder to school, or natural consequence of I didn't have my supplies. They are responsible for completing homework, not you. You passed 5th grade, and it's not on you anymore. Books and supplies, again, they're responsible for that. They're responsible for doing their best and reading every day. I will be honest, I don't give a whole lot of homework, but they are expected to read every day. So oftentimes I'll have parents come in at conferences and say, oh, they never have any homework. They never have to read. They never have to do anything. No, homework is a given. Every night they have 20 minutes of reading, no ifs, ands, or buts. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that's kind of up to your discretion, but I recommend it. Just be in that habit. Following class rules and advocating for self. Again, that is huge. Parent responsibilities: I do ask that you review and sign tests. So as students take tests home, review it with them, sign it, they bring it back, and it goes in their file. Please help students arrive on time. If they're having a rough morning, I get that, we have those mornings. But please, encourage them to be here. Label all personal belongings. The White Oak Lost and Found is a treasure chest of awesome clothes, and lunch boxes, and water bottles. Last year there's like 5 Hydro Flasks. I'm like, how do you need a Hydro Flask? So label all personal belongings. Encourage responsibility and independence. If a student comes home and they say, oh, I had a rough day today, I got in a fight with my friend, and can you email Miss Bostrom? I say, well, how do you email Miss Bostrom? Or we'll email her together. Miss Bostrom, I got in a fight with Kenley today at school. I'm not really sure how to handle this. Can you help me work it out at school the next day? Awesome. Miss Bostrom, I don't understand the lesson in math we taught. I'm really confused. Can you help me in class? Great. Okay, so again, encourage students to email or ask for help. That way, again, when they get to middle school and they have 6 teachers, you're not having to run around to 6 different teachers trying to figure out what is going on. They can advocate for themselves. They have that skill. School expectations, we have a new acronym, Lions Roar. If you've been at morning assembly this week at all, you've probably heard us say that. So the school expectations are that students roar. They're respectful, optimistic, accountable, and resourceful. So you'll hear kids talking about that a lot. Our WOW words are going to change to being students that are roaring lions. So keep that in mind. Curriculum, there's also a sheet up here on reading. I know that's a big part. Language arts, we use a combination of CCC and core literature. We also have Freckle this year. So Freckle is a website for language arts, so we'll be using it in class, as well as home. So just be aware that exists. If a kid says, I have Freckle for homework, you're like, oh, okay, I remember Miss Bostrom said that. Go Math is our math curriculum. We also use Khan Academy, Freckle, Extra Math, and Prodigy. And social studies is Studies Weekly. We're really excited about this. It's our first year having officially adopted it as a district, but we've been using it for about 5 years now. So we know their curriculum, we love it. It's great. We have a lot of really fun ideas to do with that. Again, students should have no more than 45 minutes a night with homework. If they do reach that tipping point, write a letter, send me an email. They're stuck on this problem or whatever it is. Please don't have students be doing homework for 3 hours a night. They don't need to do that. They need to play and eat dinner and just kind of relax for a little bit, not just on computers. Again, homework shouldn't be super stressful. If it is, please let me know, or have your student let me know. And they should read 20 minutes every night. Math, they must know their math facts. If you went to the math night before, it's really, really, really important. I can't stress that enough. They need to know their math facts. They need to be open-minded. We started doing perplexers this week, so they're kind of these tricky word problem kind of things where, so-and-so has more than so-and-so, but so-and-so has less than so-and-so, and this person has to figure out how many each person had, and they're kind of like tricky math problems, and they're actually pretty good at them. This group as a whole, I'm quite impressed with their math abilities. Perseverance, they need to persevere and have a positive attitude with math. That's another thing I've noticed with this group as a whole. They seem to be really excited for math, which is really fun because I love math. Science, there's a handout from Ms. Troutman. Ms. Troutman teaches science. She's on campus every Tuesday and Friday for Lido. Our science day is Friday morning, so keep that in mind. If you have any questions about science, I don't go with them to science. She's a credentialed teacher. I have my prep time during that. So if you have questions about science, she would be the person to email or ask. I can help you direct you to her, but I typically don't know exactly what's happening. I get the gist of the lesson, what they're learning, but I don't typically know the full extent of what their assignments are or things like that. And that's also on the White Oak website. Social emotional skills. This is a big thing we work on. We do Thursday game day to practice this. Sal Kahn's book, One World Schoolhouse, we talk about the importance of playing games. You kind of don't realize that the kids always get so excited. Hey, we're just playing a game. You're practicing your math facts and you're learning words and you're not just playing games. We're playing today we play Yahtzee, which requires addition and multiplication and some strategy, and they have to learn how to play. I kind of joke with them the first couple weeks, months. They're just yelling at each other. They don't know how to play. They don't know what's wrong. Like, they're not taking their turn. They stole the dice. They rolled dice on the floor. It's like, okay, guys, relax. And by June, they can play. They know how to play a game, and they know how to interact. And even if they're best friends playing a different game, and the person they really don't like is sitting next to them, they still play with them because they know the skills. They need to learn. We practice collaboration, working on group projects. They're not always going to get to work with their favorite partner or their favorite friend. Sometimes they'll have choice in who they work with, and sometimes they won't. So that's just part of, learning how to work with everybody. Respect, listening, problem solving, frustration, tolerance. I tell the kids, if you're never frustrated, then I'm not doing my job good enough, because that means that you're never learning something new. If you're frustrated, that's good. That means your brain's growing. I want you to be frustrated. Now, there's, that tipping point of frustration where it's just really, really frustrating, and, back off and balance that. But if your kid's frustrated, tell them, that's great. That means your brain's growing, right? It's not just a negative feeling or a negative thing. Perseverance, again, continuing to try something when it gets difficult. Okay. Report cards. We are on a standards-based report card. We've been on standards for 3 years now. But if you're new to the school or anything like that, so report cards are either 3 end-of-year standards are met. All of it is looking at based on the standards and based on where they need by the end of the year. Not where they need to be now, by the end of the year. 2 end-of-year standards are developing. They're on pace. They're where they need to be. 1, they haven't demonstrated that skill. It's sort of an area of concern. Conferences are November 18th to 21st. I do send out a parent survey probably within the next week or so. I know people's schedules are crazy and life is busy, so I do have you sign up for that soon. And I also hold parent-teacher-student conferences. Students lead the conferences. We'll talk about that more when it comes up. But I feel like they're usually charged of their learning, so they sit in the conference, they lead the whole conversation, they show you their report card, they get their report card a couple days before, we go over it together, we set goals on what they want to do for the next trimester, and the kids have really felt this to be a positive experience. I haven't had any kids say that they didn't like it afterwards. As a parent, you're welcome to opt out if you really don't want your kid there, totally fine, but it is a great learning experience for them. Flexible seating, this is our 4th year with flexible seating. The students pick where they want to sit every day, they can move wherever they choose, and it's they just work. It's all about finding a place that works for your learning. They can move again, basically anytime they want, they do have rules on how to use the items like the yoga balls, and we really have a way for you guys, but if they're not using the materials right, or if they're in a space that's not working for their learning, I'll just say, hey, relocate please, and they know that they need to go find somewhere else to learn. If they're talking to a friend or they're distracting somebody else, I'll say, okay, just choose another spot, and they'll go and work somewhere else. There's a lot of different places they can work, at the low tables, on the ground. If they want more space, there's kind of space on the edges. I found that it really helps the kids, especially kids that have a lot of energy. They can move around more often. They're not stuck in one spot. I personally can't sit still for an hour, let alone 6 hours a whole day. So they choose class economy. I love our classroom economy. It's really fun. They have a class job. They're very proud of their class jobs. Each student applied for a class job. They made an application. They filled it out. And then I select jobs based on their applications and who I think would be good at what. We change them about once a trimester. And they earn a salary for doing their job. They can earn bonuses if they do their job really well. They pay rent for their space. I surprise them with taxes. You have property taxes. It gets really fun. Depending on the group, you can kind of, take it a little farther or tone it back a little bit. And then on Fridays, we have Friday Fun Day, and they can either participate in an auction, and they earn little rewards. They can earn free time coupons. They can earn extra recess for the class. They can earn little, bouncy balls or little pinball things. And they get really into it. They get really excited. Our first auction is actually going to be tomorrow, and they get paid on next Monday. So they get paid on the first of the month if the kids ever ask. And they earn, tangible Boston bucks, and they have a little wallet. We made our wallets yesterday. It's very fun. Classroom, class policy. If you forget items or students forget items, please don't drop them off in class. Please don't disrupt class during instructional time. It's really distracting. Parents are popping in. Hey, Kelly, you forgot your lunchbox. I put it outside for you. Just bring it to the office. They'll call right before recess and say, hey, Kenley, your lunchbox is in the office. Appointments, again, check in with the office. I know it's hard. Our classroom is right by the office. You might think, oh, I'll just go grab her from the classroom and we'll go. No, you still need to go to the office. It's 2 feet away. Absent work, one day, just make it up when they get back. If it's more than one day, if you can get it by 3 p.m. on the second day. And independent studies if they're gone for 5 days or more, so you have a family trip or something like that planned. And their work is returned the day they're back at school. So that first day back, you can ask me more information about that. Birthday policy, long story short, no food. That's basically what that says, no food. I will return food home. If you come in with a tray of cupcakes and your kid's really excited, I'll say, that's great, you can bring them home. I'm really sorry, we're not passing them out in class. Due to a variety of reasons, just no food. No phones, not usually an issue. When you get to middle school, it tends to be more of a issue. Box tops, the kids earn Bostrom bucks for box tops. So if you have box tops, save them. There is a limit because I had a student trying to turn in 2,000 box tops. They emailed everybody they knew, and everybody mailed them. And I was like, "You're going to corrupt our economy. You can't have it happen." So there is a limit, but they do earn box tops for that. Seesaw, I haven't done Seesaw in the past. I'm starting it up again. Again, it's kind of mom thing. Kenley's school gives me picture updates, and I can ask her, hey, you did the sandbox today. How was that? And hopefully you can do the same with your kids. Hey, I saw you're working on dialogue today. Tell me about that. What did you learn? Or just kind of help you get some conversation started with your kids. It's hard. They don't tell you a lot. We ask them, how was school today? Good. What'd you do? Nothing. Okay, great. Well, I have the Seesaw picture that says you, or whatever it is. So I'll be using that. I'll try and post at least a couple times a week, have students post things like that. They can also, it's pretty cool, they can post their work as well. So you can see if they do a writing assignment in class, you can see what they're writing or what their work is like. Class play, we will have a class play June 3rd if you want to put it on your calendars. Ways away, but it is booked. Thursday game day, I talked about that, and Friday Fun Day, I talked about that. Outdoor education. Wow, we are cutting short on time. I'm talking way too much. This is a big question for you guys often. We are the week after spring break this year again. Please coordinate your travel plans accordingly. Last year we had several people on big grand trips and students got sick and weren't able to attend outdoor. So it's kind of a big bummer for them. Students are not allowed to be dropped off and picked up. If they have soccer practice on Tuesday and Thursday, they're not allowed to be picked up and dropped back off. They stay at camp the entire week. There's no negotiation on that. It's camp policy. They come on Monday, they leave on Friday. The only exception is that they're sick, they can go home. But other than that, they don't get picked up and dropped off. King Gillette Ranch. So it's right off Las Virgenes Road, down the way towards the left. Great. I wish. 2 years ago, before I had Penley, I did the overnight director position, so I spent the night there for 8 weeks, and it was awesome. It was very fun. If your students never had a sleepover, please don't wait till the weekend before. Plan them now. Kids do get homesick. We don't use the word homesick. We just say, like, oh, you're missing home. That's okay. That's totally normal. It happens. It's normal. Picky eaters, again, if they're really picky eaters, start exploring different foods now. Allergies, they accommodate every allergy. It's a nut-free facility. There's absolutely no nuts there, so that's not an issue. Every year you have a kid like, oh, I don't have a swimsuit. I can't find it. Well, did you pack it out? No, my mom did. I don't know where anything is. Oh, okay, so take everything out and find it for them. But so have them help you pack the bag. At least show them where everything is. Room placements, we do that a couple weeks before. Students pick room placements. We do not listen to parent requests on room placements. That's up to the kids. The kids pick 4 choices. We sort in a giant puzzle grid of who's where and what and who would work well without who. We don't put kids just based on who they want. We put kids with who they'll work with as well. So just note that if you say like, oh, my kid really wants to be with this other kid and they're really bad pair, we know that we wouldn't put them together. And encourage your kids to advocate for themselves. Again, the kids that are like, I don't know, all sorts of things that come up, but make sure your kids are advocating for themselves. Middle school honors testing is in, and we'll have a whole parent night for Alpharetta too in like January, so don't be worried about that. And we're going to host one this year at White Oak, and they also host one at King Gillette Ranch, so you'll have kind of 2 options. We decided that we're going to host one just so that we can kind of give you extra information and pictures and all sorts of stuff. There is a YouTube video I have on my channel if you want it with last year. Honors testing is in January to March for language arts and social studies and GATE as well. So you'll get information on that through the district. Math honors testing is class. This is not a test that your kids need to study for. Please don't go out and get a tutor for your kid to pass their, get into GATE. It's just, it places them pretty, accurately of where they're going to do well and where they're going to succeed. It's not something to stress out about. It's not something to study for or panic about. A 6th grade is based on one single test. 7th, 8th grade is based on a whole year of performance. Teachers can see this kid's doing really well, this kid's succeeding. We want to bump them up to, honors or whatever for 7th and 8th grade. So again, and there'll be more information on that as well. Plagiarism, students are expected to cite sources. We haven't learned that yet. They haven't been instructed on that. But if they do plagiarize, it is very common. Kids are lazy. They don't want to write. They copy and paste from 12 different websites. You realize that the font is in 12 different fonts. You Google it and you're like, come on, seriously? You'd be surprised. I'm like, you had trouble writing a sentence, let alone a 12-page paper. This is not your work. So they are required to rewrite those. It is a consequence. It's better for them to learn that now than in high school. Students in past classes wish they knew you have to study. There's no shortcuts to finish a good project or paper. You can't plagiarize. Focus and take responsibility. I like this one. Don't wait until the last day to do projects. They will have some long-term projects at home that work on time management. Don't wait until the last day to do that. Classroom volunteers. We have one parent signed up to be a photographer, one for co-room parent. I'd like to get another co-room parent as well. As many art check parents as we can get, so we can kind of do that on a rotation so you guys aren't out too much, but that would be great. Classroom volunteers have to sign a confidentiality form and be TB cleared and signed in the office. Wish list items, tissues, baby wipes, small prize box items. The kids love like random little trinkety toys, the stuff you're gonna donate wherever, you have little Hot Wheel cars, whatever it is. They love those for our auction, so we'll happily take them. Okay, questions. How am I on time? 2 minutes. Wow. That is the longest I've ever gone. Any questions? No? Come on. Yes.
Sorry, I was
That's
under
okay.
the assumption that they're not doing honors next year in middle school.
I don't know. I hope that's true. But I don't know. I will let you know if I find out. Yeah. Yes.
Did they go somewhere else last year for alcohol? Okay, so that's just
Yes. It was just an interim year from the fires. We are back at King Gillette. I'm so excited. We were at Camp Temescal last year. The drive was like an hour and a half from I was like, you've got to be back at King Gillette. King Gillette is great. It's easy. It's really secure. They have 2 security guards on site 24 hours a day. It's fantastic. Well, if you think of questions, you can email me, Deanne Bostrom at lbsc.org, not D. Bostrom. Yeah. Thank you.